Okay, students, it's me again. I thought I was recording. I did almost the whole lesson 5-4 and I was not recording. So 5-4 is common multiples and common denominators. Common multiples is basically our multiplication tables for that number. If we have the common multiples for 4, we can use 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, etc. So we have 3, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 numbers here, multiples of 4. What if I want a multiple of 2? Okay, again, I do the multiplication tables. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, etc. So these are called common multiples of these numbers. What if I wanted to know the least common multiple of these two numbers? Okay, the least common multiple would be 4. Or I could do 8, because if we're actually using 2 and 4, and we'll do LCM, least common multiple, it would be 8. So the smallest number that they both have in common is 8. Those are called least common multiples. Okay, let's do a couple practices on those. Let's do 5. Okay, let's do 8 multiples of 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, that should be 8. 8 5s are 40. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and let's do 7. Again, we're doing multiples of 7. So we have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, and 56. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Those are the next 8 multiples, or those are the 8 multiples of 7. Now, what if we want the least common multiple of 2 numbers? If we looked at 5 and 7, the least common multiple, now remember these are common multiples, but the least common multiple that both 5 and 7 have in common would be 35. So least common multiple of 5 and 7 is 35. See how that works? Least common multiple. Yeah, you're able to see down there. Okay, let's do a couple more least common multiples. Let's do 3 numbers. 2, 3, and 4. First, let's put some multiples out here. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, okay, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, okay, we have something in common here. Let's try 4. 4, 8, 12. So the least common multiple for these 3 numbers, 2, 3, and 4, the least common multiple is 12. Okay, see how simple that is? Now, we've done common multiples, which again is just your multiplication table for those in order. And then least common multiple, we do the same thing. We find the least common multiples for a series of numbers, and then we see what all of them, the 2 or 3 or 4, you can even do 4 numbers, that they have the smallest number that they all have in common. Then we have something called least common denominator. Well, denominator should make you think of fractions. Excuse me. So if I have 3/4 as a fraction, 2/5 as a fraction, and 9/10 as a fraction. Again, I want to look at the multiples that I have of these. Now remember, if we go back to the previous lesson, L-3, this is closer to 1 than a half. This is about a half, and this is closer to 1. So let's look at the multiples, the denominators. These are the denominators of 4. It's 4, 8, 12, 15, 18, 24. Okay? 8, 12, 15, 4. Oh, sorry. 15. I am not doing this right. 8 times 1, 2, 8, 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. 24. Sorry, students. I don't remember my multiplication tables. Okay? 5, then we have 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, let's stop here because we have 20 in common. Then we have 20. Okay? So the least common denominator for these 3 fractions of 4, 5, and 10 is 20. Okay? Least common denominator. Let's try another 1 or 2 of the least common denominator. Let's try 1/2 and 3/4. Again, we're going to do common multiples. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. Here we have 4, 8, 12. Okay, we already know what the least common denominator is in just a few multiples. And the least common denominator for 1/2 and 3/4 is going to be 8. Now this is important for later when we change the fractions to different denominators. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do it with 3 of them. 3/4, 2/5, and 9/20. Okay. 4 times 2 is 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We'll stop right there. And then this one is 20. Okay, it could be 40 because it jumps way up. So the least common denominator, let's put it up here, least common denominator for 3/4, 2/5, and 9/20 is 20. Okay, even though that is part of that fraction. Okay, students, again, let me reiterate, it's so very important that you do your work, do your math work, and all your other work. But if you want to be able to go into 6th grade, you have to know this. Until the next time I record a lesson for you, you do your very best. Do your work, do your very best. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. Thank you. I miss each and every one of you, and I pray that you and your family stay safe and healthy. Thank you.